Hello, students, and welcome to our social studies lesson on the Bahamian people. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to discuss what it means to be a Bahamian, explain the concept of a colony, compare the analogy of the Bahamas becoming independent to a child becoming an adult. Here are some vocabulary words that you will need to know for this lesson. Colony, a country or area that is ruled by another country. Injustice, unfair or unjust treatment. Constitution, document containing fundamental laws outlining the basic laws or principles by which a country or organization is governed. Govern, to control, regulate, or direct something. Treaty, a formal contract or agreement negotiated between countries or other political entities. Now that we know our vocabulary words, let's continue. The Bahamian people. Many events led to the birth of our nation. Many people came to the Bahamas from Europe and Africa and made an impact on our nation. These two people were different in appearance, spoke different languages, and had different customs and beliefs. The Europeans came to be known as white Bahamians, while the Africans were called black Bahamians. Our country has many more black people than white, but it was ruled by white people for many generations. The black people felt this was wrong. Do you agree? They fought for their rights and forced some of the bad laws to be changed. Today, all Bahamians have equal rights, but it has not always been so. I wonder what kind of fight they are talking about. Did they throw blows? Were there punches? No. We will have a look at how some of the Bahamian leaders fought for equal rights. The fight for fair play. The Bahamas was a British colony, which means the Bahamas was once ruled by Britain, and all the laws were decided by the British government. A royal governor was appointed by the monarch, a monarch being a British king or queen, to look after the islands. Which islands we're talking about? Yes, the islands of the Bahamas. The governor lived on Government Hill in Nassau, and the British flag, also called the Union Jack, could be seen blowing above the buildings there. From 1834, the Bahamas was free from slavery. Do you remember when we covered that in our last topic, Africa? Well, who can remember the word that we said means freedom of slaves? If you said emancipation, you are correct. Well, even after 1834, there were still schools, clubs, and hotels which black people could not enter. Black Bahamians could not vote, and there were other injustices, or like we said, other unfair treatment. The black leaders wanted to be able to choose people who would represent them in the House of Assembly. But only men who owned land were allowed to vote. Women could not vote at all until a group of black women fought for this right. They finally won the vote for women in 1961. So we can see on this side that there are many women who fought for Bahamian rights. Can you identify any of those Bahamian women that fought for equal rights? Very good if you said Mary Ingram. Yes, Doris Johnson and Mabel Walker, just to name a few. In 1965, to show his feelings about these injustices, one of the black leaders threw the mace out of the window of the House of Assembly. The mace is the symbol of the monarchy. Who do you think this black leader was? Very good. Our first Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Sir Lyndon Oscar Pinland. And like we said, the mace is the symbol of the monarchy. Who is a monarch? Yes, a king or queen. So if there wasn't any mace, there wasn't any authority. Very good. When the black leaders finally won their struggle, each Bahamian over the age of 18 was allowed to vote. The Bahamians are divided into a number of areas. The people in each area vote for one person to represent them in the House of Assembly. Each voting area is called a constituency. Do you remember when your parents, grandparents, aunt, or whomever had to vote? They each had to go to a different constituency to vote or voting area. Which constituency did they vote in? Independence. To prepare for the time when the Bahamas became independent, several leaders went to England to discuss the creation of our Constitution. That is, the body of laws by which a country is governed. Independence Day was the 10th of July, 1973. And what a grand celebration! The Bahamas put on her proudest face. All over the country, buildings were painted and trees planted. There were regattas, junkanoo, church services, parades, floats, and banquets. Visitors came from many other countries to share our festive mood. We made history. At last, the Bahamas was able to handle its own affairs. Our country could now make treaties and agreements with other countries and join groups such as the Caribbean Community and Common Market, known as CARICOM, the Commonwealth of Nations, and international organizations such as the United Nations. Now, every year, Independence Day, which is when, students? Very good, July 10th, is a national holiday. On this day, we remember when the British flag was lowered for the last time and the Bahamian flag of gold, black, and aquamarine was raised over our government buildings. For many years, our people were two peoples. Today, we are one nation. There are no barriers of color, religion, education, or politics. We all have equal rights. But in some other parts of the world, people are still fighting for their rights and freedom.